Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our junior English study in the MyPerspectives volume. We are now in Unit 6. I'm with you on page 750, Ordinary Lives, Extraordinary Tales. The American short story will be our focus here for this unit. I'd like to pay attention to the two questions that are on page 751. The first one is the essential question, what do stories reveal about the human condition? And then the prompt question at the bottom of 751 that you'll be writing on later for the narrative, short story and storytelling session. How does a fictional character or characters respond to life-changing news? I'm hopeful that you've worked with 752 and the unit's goal as well as the academic vocabulary for narrative text on 753. Let's now turn to page 754 and the Ernest Hemingway short story, Old Man at the Bridge. I'm reading now with you about the launch text here. This selection is an example of a narrative text. It's a fictional narrative, I would circle that, because it's narrated by a character that describes events that did not actually happen. This is the type of writing that you'll develop in your performance-based assessment at the end of this unit. As you read, look closely at the author's use of details and dialogue, so underline both of those. Mark words and phrases that suggest the personalities of the narrator and the old man, as well as the tension, I would circle that word, of the situation in which they meet. Now, I'm not going to number paragraphs here because obviously we've got 36 of them because so much of this is dialogue. An old man with steel-rimmed spectacles and very dusty clothes sat by the side of the road. There was a pontoon bridge across the river, and carts, trucks, and men and women and children were crossing it. The mule-drawn carts staggered up the steep bank from the bridge, with soldiers helping push against the spokes of the wheels. By the way, circle the word staggered and just pay attention to the power of the verbs in this passage. The trucks ground up and away, heading out of it all, and the peasants plodded along in the ankle-deep dust. Also pay attention to the use of dust in this passage. But the old man sat there without moving. He was too tired to go on any further. It was my business to cross the bridge, explore the bridgehead beyond, and find out to what point the enemy had advanced. I did this and returned over the bridge. There were not so many carts now, and very few people on foot, but the old man was still there. Where did he come from? I asked him. From San Carlos, he said, and smiled. That was his native town, and so it gave him pleasure to mention it. And he smiled. I was taking care of animals, he explained. Oh, I said, not quite understanding. Yes, he said, I stayed, you see, taking care of animals. I was the last one to leave the town of San Carlos. He did not look like a shepherd, nor a herdsman. And I looked at his black dusty clothes and his gray dusty face and his steel-rimmed spectacles and said, what animals were they? Various animals, he said, shook his head. I had to leave them. I was watching the bridge in the African-looking country of the Arbo Delta, and wondering how long now it would be before we would see the enemy, and listening all the while for the first noises that would signal that ever-mysterious event called contact. And the old man still sat there. Notice again the building of the tension. What animals were they, I asked. There were 3 animals altogether, he explained. There were 2 goats and a cat, and then there were 4 pairs of pigeons. And you had to leave them? I asked. Yes, because of the artillery. The captain told me to go because of the artillery. By the way, notice how the old man repeats himself through this passage. I'm at the top of 755. And you have no family? I asked, watching the far end of the bridge where a few last carts were hurrying down the slope of the bank. No, he said, only the animals, I stated. The cat, of course, will be all right. A cat can look out for itself. But I cannot think what will become of the others. What politics have you? I asked. I am without politics, he said. I'm 76 years old. I have come 12 kilometers now, and I think now I can go no farther. This is not a good place to stop, I said. If you can make it, there are trucks up the road where it forks for Tortosa. I'll wait a while, he said, and then I will go. Where do the trucks go? Towards Barcelona, I told him. I know no one in that direction, he said, but thank you very much. Thank you again very much. He looked at me very blankly and tiredly, then said, having to share his worry with someone, "The cat will be all right, I am sure. There is no need to be unquiet about the cat. But the others? Now, what do you think about the others?" "Why, they'll probably come through it all right." "You think so?" "Why not?" I said, watching the far bank, where now there were no cards. "But what will they do under the artillery when I was told to leave because of the artillery?" "Did you leave the dove cage unlocked?" I asked. "Yes." "Then they'll fly." "Yes, certainly they'll fly. But the others?" "It's better not to think about the others," he said. "If you are rested, I would go," I urged. "Get up and try to walk now." "Thank you," he said, and got to his feet, swayed from side to side, and then sat down backwards in the dust. "I was taking care of animals," he said dully, "but no longer to me. I was only taking care of animals." There was nothing to do about him. It was Easter Sunday, and the fascists were advancing toward the Ebro. It was a gray, overcast day with a low ceiling, so their planes were not up. That, and the fact that cats know how to look after themselves, was all the good luck that old man would ever have. Now, I'm hopeful that you'll work with the vocabulary on page 755. Notice the human condition being the central idea there. And then on to page 756, go ahead and write your summary of this little narrative. And then at the bottom of 756, work with the launch activity, creating an alternate ending. And then finally on 757, I'm hopeful that you'll do the quick write for the prompt. How does a fictional character or characters respond to life-changing news? Let's come back now to work with the 6th unit. Thank you.